When Ms. Crockett said she doesn't have children, so she doesn't know, I mean, we're not wired to process the type of tragedy that we're living. We're not. There are no words. I will tell you, it does feel different when an illegal immigrant kills your children than it does an American, because it was preventable. It feels different. Not that I know that because I have had an American kill a child, but when something's preventable and your life is ruined from something that's preventable, it does hit a little different.
What she said versus how it was received, that was the real moment.
Thank you so much. And I hear your rage, and I don't have children and literally have never lost a child nor had one injured to actually, really be in your shoes. But one thing that I can tell you about the redirection is because so often what we see happen is politicians play games. The reality is that if you are talking about a sanctuary city, then we're talking about city government. We're talking about local control, something that the Republicans used to espouse that they believed in. They used to believe in whoever lives in that city, you elect who is going to run that city. And that city, whether it's the police department, which is the police department and law enforcement that make the decisions about what they do.
As long as what you're doing has no ability to specifically, inherently affect the rest of the country. But let's continue.
We don't pick the police chief for any given city, not on the federal level. That comes from the city level. That comes from whoever the people of that city actually elect to represent them. I believe in local control. Same thing, I live in Texas too. And baby, I wish I didn't have to deal with Governor Greg Abbott, but local control dictates that he is the governor of our state. And therefore we have state reps, we have state senators, and we have a governor, and we have county elected officials and city elected officials. We are sitting in Washington, DC right now. We are on the federal level. So what I believe in is something that the Republicans used to scream, which is local control. So when we're having a conversation and a hearing about the human toll, the title specifically is the human toll of sanctuary policies, stories from victims and families, my deal is we aren't the ones that decide what cities do. So what they've decided to do is they've decided to play on your pain. And that is why I am frustrated. Because hear me when I say this. I have seen people, whether it was an American citizen or not, that killed your child or harmed your child, I believe it's wrong. To me, it wouldn't have made it any less painful. And I could be wrong again because I don't have any kids.
Oh my God.
But if for some reason it had been a U.S. citizen that ended up harming or killing your child, the pain would still be there. It would still hurt. So the reality is that what we need to do is make sure we are protecting everybody in this country. I don't wake up and somehow people look and see that there's a D somewhere around my head or something, and so therefore I am going to somehow be precluded from harm becoming me. When I go out to do policy work, and I've worked on the state level too, the policies that I was writing when I was on the state level are different from the federal level because we have different levels of control. The one thing that we do have control of, you may have recognized that the DHS secretary, as we're talking about immigration, she had to come before this committee. I want to say maybe a day or two after she came before our committee, because we have jurisdiction over her. We don't have jurisdiction over your mayors. We have jurisdiction over her. She lost her job. The DHS secretary is gone. Now, to be clear about this, the Republican president is the one that put her out of her job because she was failing. So the reason that my colleagues have brought these things up, and this isn't to say that the harm and the hurt that you are feeling, that you should not be feeling that. It is wrong. Again, even as a criminal defense attorney, I can't tell you how many times I was begging clients to enter pleas. In fact, it literally made me remember a case that I had with a guy who was a veteran. He had served this country. He ended up being put on some new medication, and he also ended up drinking with that medication. Now, the medication had a warning on the bottle. But he went out, he drove, and he killed someone's mother That client told me he had no criminal history. He told me over and over and over, he said, just give me whatever they're gonna give me. They offered him the max, which was 20 years, and I could not in good conscience, knowing that a jury would not give him the max. The only reason we went to trial is because the prosecutor wanted to be so greedy. That jury did not give him 20. He was willing to take 15 years. I am here to tell you that it is never right to break any of our laws. So the reason that we have gone down the line and the reason that we brought Mr. Romanucci is because we actually have control over CBP and DHS. It's just, and ICE. It's just that these guys don't want to exacerbate, use that control. They sit there and they allow U.S. citizens and non-U.S. citizens to have their rights violated, and that is something within our purview.
She's saying a lot of things that basically mean nothing. These things feel good, I'm sure, to hear, right? Oh, I'm sorry for your loss type of thing. You're also now equating someone who commits a crime who's a U.S. citizen versus someone who broke into our country and who's here illegally, who then commits a similar crime as a U.S. citizen. And you think that these things are equal here. Okay, listen, definitely, in fact, is there going to be really a difference in what the parent is going to feel for the loss of one of their young ones? No, not really. Not truthfully. Not with the deep just regret and dread. No. All right. But it's going to make it a lot worse if we then find out that the person who did this broke into the country and didn't have to be here. Like, if he wasn't here, would that have happened? No, these are not the same, Jasmine Crockett. Okay, they're not the same. And the fact that you think that they're the same is crazy, while then saying in the same breath, our laws need to be followed, but yet you're backing the idea of obvious asylum fraud. 80 to 90% are here under the guise of fraud. What are you talking about? I fully am aware here that it is incredibly important to make sure that places have their own autonomy. I back the idea 100% of autonomous type of places here, guys. Right? I like the fact that places have certain states have different rules that may not 100% follow the federal government's federal rules, guidelines. I get that. In some places the greenery is legal, other places it's not. I understand. But when things start to have the ability to affect the rest of the country, how beneficial is that to the country to consistently back Jasmine Crockett? I think the idea of sanctuary cities are absolutely terrible. Okay, I do. It's just my thing here, because what you're doing here is saying that in this place right here, it is 100% okay for you to house people that are broken into our country, while talking to the mothers that lost the young ones to the same thing you're in promotion of, while then thinking that things are equal. These people don't belong in our country, Jasmine Crockett. They broke into our country.
When Ms. Crockett said she doesn't have children, so she doesn't know, I mean, we're not wired to process the type of tragedy that we're living. We're not. There are no words. I will tell you, it does feel different when an illegal immigrant kills your children than it does an American, because it was preventable. It feels different. Not that I know that because I have had an American kill a child, but when something's preventable, and your life is ruined from something that's preventable, it does hit a little different than what I would imagine it would feel like just a regular casualty. Loss in itself is so difficult. There's no words. Loss is loss. It is very tragic. What we're dealing with when it's preventable, when these people have done something and they weren't asked to leave. If I were to go to Honduras, where the woman who killed our children is from, and I would kill 2 teenagers there, I'm not getting any rights from the Hondurans. They're not giving me rights.
You're right.
It's different. This is preventable. So I think it does hit a little different when our tragedy is preventable.
Thank you.
I guess so the only thing here is, what do you think Jasmine Crockett learned here? She didn't learn anything, right? She walked in here under the assumption immediately that all crime, for the most part, is equal here. When will they learn? Now, guys, I'm not even sure that it's even a capability for them to sit down and think logically on anything. Like, without immediately saying, I have to toe the party line. The party line dictates that We are not to think anything different about illegal immigrants that have broken into our country. These people are just like us. They're not, guys. They're just not. I'm sorry. We're supposed to be here. They're not, guys. Like, them being here is a crime. And then you say you're here for the idea of legalities. Rule number 1, fix the loopholes that allow people to enter into this country illegally. Stop it. Because they know how to do it already, guys. Like, if you don't think that the whole plan or plot or idea or methodology is spread throughout the countries where we're getting a gigantic proliferation of people, guys. But all right, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, I'll go ahead and catch you guys later.